What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the Parrot Press. Today we're looking at the redraft. We'll look at some of the players that I'm in and ahhing about at the moment, whether to get them in. There's a few surprises in there as well, surprising myself. And obviously we've got a good few games before the end of the group stages to know what the next fixtures are going to be, which is going to impact decision as well. But I wanted to get this video out and talk about a few players. I'm not set yet. I have got a draft of the redraft, which we'll take a look at. But first things first is I want to look at the predictions, because obviously the fixtures are going to impact your decision really for the next, or they definitely should. Now, what you don't want to be doing is picking, players that's got a really hard team, especially when the likes of France now and Argentina have got some easier fixtures. But what I went ahead and done was just this prediction thing here. So obviously we know how Group A, B, C and D finish. The big surprise in there being Australia finishing in the second, which gives them a good, or should I say gives Argentina a good fixture for the next one. But then going down to Group E and F, and this is just how I think it's going to pan out. I think Spain win the group with today's games. I think they beat Japan. I think Germany beat Costa Rica as well. So I do think that Germany scraped through by the skin of their teeth. Group F is an interesting one. I think Croatia and Belgium, I don't see Belgium winning that game just on recent form. I think Croatia will have enough experience in there to either get a point out of it or all 3 points. And then I see Morocco beating Canada as well. So I do have Morocco to top that group. However, yeah, if Croatia win, maybe there's going to be something different there. I don't know. But I see them being the two strongest teams in that group and getting through in Group F. Group G, Brazil win the group. I think Switzerland get through as runners-up. Now, if Serbia beat them, I believe that Serbia will go through. But that wouldn't impact my decisions too much because I think that they're very similar sides. Maybe Switzerland are a touch better, but again, very similar. And then Group H, I think I have Portugal winning it, and I have Uruguay beating Ghana to get that second spot, with South Korea Republic finishing last. So there might be one or two surprises in there, but what does that actually look like for the next fixtures? We already know that Netherlands are playing the USA. I think that's a really tough game for the Netherlands. And as you know, if you've been watching my previous videos, I've got Virgil van Dijk, and I don't know. I think that might be an extra time one or something like that. The USA have been really solid in their midfield, and at the back they've been really sure as well. So Netherlands don't look like the flying Dutch of old. So I think that's a tough game. Now, if I had to edge it, I'd probably just go on history, basically, that the Netherlands are gonna win that. Argentina, now they're definitely one that I'm going to be looking at for my redraft. Now I've already got Messi, but playing Australia have only scored, I think it's 2 goals. I might be doing them a disservice there. Maybe it's 3. I'm not sure, but I see Argentina just smashing Australia, to be honest with you. And then we've got, again, if all pans out as what I've predicted, we've got Spain and Croatia, which is a really tough game. I see Spain just edging that, but again, Croatia are such a strong team in knockout football. And with that middle three of Kovacic, Brozovic and Modric, I think that they can compete with anybody, even with the youngsters from Spain. But Spain should just have enough. And then we've got Brazil and Uruguay. I see Brazil win. Again, that's a team to target for me, because if Ghana get through, I think that's a good fixture. Even though I think Uruguay is a really good fixture for Brazil as well. They've not been impressive from what I've seen. Come together as a team at the moment. Anything can obviously happen. We've got England and Senegal. England would be one to look at as well. Now, Senegal is not a bad side by any stretch. They're pretty decent. But for a one-off game, with the form that England are in, we might want to include 1 or 2 in there. France and Poland, easy fixture for France, in my opinion, when they've got everybody back. I know that they obviously lost, but I see them smashing Poland. just as Argentina did last night. That should be 4 or 5-0. This is the one, the Morocco-Germany game, so I do expect Germany to be in this spot. Morocco, that's a tough game. That's actually a really tough game, and I'm not too sure who would win that if that was the fixture for the round of 16. And then Portugal and Switzerland, if not Serbia, I see Portugal winning that hands down. So if we look at the draw, if we just look at, I know this is one round, then we get to redraft again, right? But if we look at this, I see Portugal winning that quite comfortably. So target them. And then even in the next round, if we're drafting in some Portugal players, I see them beating Germany or Morocco. Now, you can never count out the Germans. I know it's knockout football. Anything can happen. But if it's Germany or if it's Morocco, I see Portugal winning that as well. France and England should win. Tough game, but I see France winning again. So maybe we want to draft in 1 or 2 players from there, just to get us a good batch of players for the next redraft. I see Brazil winning this. If Spain edge it, that's a tough game, but again, Brazil. So if we just look along this journey, if we're targeting France, Brazil, Portugal, Brazil, Argentina should win that. Let's just go and say the Netherlands win that. I see Argentina winning. All of a sudden, we've got Argentina, Brazil in the South American derby sort of thing, and then the European one with France and Portugal. Now, I know this is a one-rounder, right? So I have my strategy is I have half an eye on the next round as well to who to get in, but also taking into account with the matchups that's going on this week. Now, for my team, and it might be a bit slower because I need to order a new computer basically, but for my team, I've already got Messi and Griezmann, which obviously works in favour to what I've just spoken about. Argentina, Australia, and France and Poland. Now, I personally think if you're not invested in France at the moment, now might be the time, whether that's a Griezmann or an Mbappe. Now, for me, you might see that I've picked Jason C from Australia as a forward position, basically the lowest, like 5-pointer. The reason behind that is because I'm always going to play Messi and Griezmann in a way. Messi can produce unbelievable scores whenever he kind of wants, and he's been in good form this World Cup so far. Right, he missed the penalty, but if he scored that penalty, by the way, he'd be close to about a 90-pointer. And Griezmann, he's been in great form as well. He can build up so much AA, and playing in a really strong France side, I think that he can do really well in any game that he plays. So if I've got that extra spot as a forward anyway, why not concentrate on building the other positions in my side? Because my midfield is quite weak. I've basically got Di Maria and Brozovic, and Di Maria keeps being subbed off, and he's not done the things that I would expect him to do. So I definitely need to strengthen there. And also in defence as well, if the Netherlands do go out to the USA. Now, as I said, the Netherlands, they're not guaranteed to win that game, in my opinion. And VVD's been all right, but he hasn't produced what a 17-pointer should do. But getting back to forwards, let's talk about some of these. Now, Neymar obviously is injured. I don't know if he's going to be back or not, but I'm not going to be spending it on there for a forward, as I've already said. If you've not got Griezmann or Mbappe, then think about a Giroud if you can't afford it. I think that you do need to get tied in with the French players, or you go for the differentials if you're so far behind in the competition. Then just go for maybe a Vinny, maybe a Depay, or something like that. I personally, obviously, he scored in the last game. I'm not too sure on that, just because I'm covered on Vinny, just because I'm covered by Argentina and France. Harry Kane is a good shout against Senegal. We know that Harry Kane is not just about scoring goals, he's about assisting as well. Now, Gakpo, he's had a great tournament, obviously. If we look at his last 3 games, we've got a 77, a 64 and a 78. And he's basically played near enough 90 minutes each game. I think he's one of the only people for the Netherlands to score in each 3 games, along with Schneider, and I think there's another one. He's played really well. I think his AA could have been better in this game as well. I think he give it away a lot, but yeah, he's definitely one to consider if you're looking at a little bit of a differential. Getting away from the Mbappes, the Messis, the Neymars, the Griezmanns, etc., because he's been doing well. The other one is Richarlison. Now, Richarlison, I believe, is only, 14 points. Now, he's playing, anybody who's playing up top for Brazil is going to get chances, get 3 or 4 chances in a game. And they play Cameroon today or tomorrow, I think it is. And as I said, who do they play back here? They would play, in my prediction, against the Uruguay or something like that. That's a bit of a leaky defence at the moment. So, yeah, Richarlison could be a decent shout as a little bit, again, as a differential. But going back to this list, I don't mind Giroud, again, if you can't afford the Griezmanns and Mbappe. Memphis Depay is a shout. Ronaldo's a shout as well. I've not seen too many Ronaldos in sides. Martinez, no for me. Dybala, no. Leao, no, just because he doesn't start. Tadic, no. Yeah, that getting down German forwards, no, not for me. I don't see anybody else. Rashford, yeah. However, is he going to start? That's the thing against Saka and Sterling and Foden. Is he going to start? Dembele, when I've watched him, he's been really exciting to watch, but his scores don't represent that, basically, from a Sorare point of view. Hence why he's probably down at these 13 points. But Rashford, if he starts, I'd 100% be thinking about him. But again, for my team, for my spots, I'm going to be playing that extra slot as a forward. So it's all a touch irrelevant for this game. So they're my thoughts on forwards. And as I said, I'm just going to go with the cheapest one for now. I've got Bruno in there as my draft at the moment. But looking at midfielders, there's only a few that I'm considering. De Bruyne, no, I don't see Belgium getting through. And even if they do, I'm not spending 19 points on De Bruyne. He's not been that good. Same as Kimmich. Same as Modric. Jude Bellingham, yeah, he could do well. He could do really well. What a fantastic player he is. Phil Foden, does he start? So Frankie de Jong, this is another one that I'm looking at. But that USA game, as I've said time and time again, puts me off a little bit. But if we look at his scores, he does really well all around, and he's going to be coming up with some decisives as well. So I do like Frankie de Jong. Who else do I like in here? Who else have I got open? This guy. I really like Casemiro, and that's not just because he scored in the last game. It's that he's playing for a side that's going to go, in my opinion, a long way into the competition. And as I said, if it's that Uruguay fixture for the round of 16, I expect him to do well there. I don't expect him to concede. I expect him to pick up good AAs. And again, in a Brazil side as a centre midfielder, even if you are holding a touch, you can produce some things. The other one, or the other two that I'm actually looking at, is Enzo. So going back to that Argentina fixture again, he played extremely well last night. You can see here he's just got better and better. He come on as a sub, done okay. Then he come on as a sub, then he scored, then he started the game, then he's got the assist, he's got a great AA as well. Sorare people should know all about this guy. Yeah, he's a bit of a beast. And they play Australia as well. So he's definitely in my thoughts. But the one that I have there at the moment is Bruno. We look at his last 2 games, 90 and a 93. He takes all of their set pieces. You've got no problems in terms of fitness of him coming off, in my opinion. He might even be rested for the career game, or maybe take 20 minutes, which is even better for him. I just think that he's made for this Portugal side. He's the one that links the play. He can play on the right, on the left. He can do it all. And at 16 points, do I see anybody better than him? I don't. And as I said, the only ones that I'm considering is De Jong, Casemiro, and Fernandes, and they're all very similar in price, ranging from like 14 to 16. Now, if we go back to my prediction here about who Portugal would have, is Switzerland. And again, I don't see Switzerland dominating Portugal, I think Portugal dominate the ball. And with somebody like Ronaldo up top, who Bruno's already assisted to, I think that he's just quality. With somebody like Leao coming on with the last 30 with his pace and trickery, I see Fernandes getting a lot more assists and going a long way as well. Again, one eye on the next game and the next game after that. Can I get some utilisation out of him? Absolutely. If they beat Switzerland, again, knockout football, anything can happen. I keep saying that, because what I'm saying is not going to happen. I don't predict the future, but I do really like Bruno. Is there anybody else in here that I like? DePaul has been a big letdown, but again, against Australia, he could come out of 100, absolutely. Casemiro's in there. Saka, does he start? I would prefer having somebody like a Rashford in my side if I was going to go for England. From a midfielder point of view, Bellingham, if you can stretch to that, because I know that Bellingham's going to start. Rabiot, he played well the first couple of games. He was rested yesterday, so he should be fit and firing for Poland. I like that. Germany, again, I wouldn't touch. Spain, I wouldn't really touch, even though they've been on fire. Pedri may be out of everybody, but I'd leave that. I think that Enzo's a better choice than Pedri for the next round, at least. The other Brazilian guys I would leave because it seems like they're rotating a little bit. Declan Rice, no. I don't see anybody else on this list that would enter my head in terms of getting him on. David Klaassen, he's been okay. Yeah, he's been all right. But again, does he beat for Enzo for a 1 point more? No, and nobody else that I would touch. So at the moment, I've gone with Bruno for that position. But as I said, the other guys are definitely there from Enzo, Casemiro, and De Jong. So moving over to defenders. At the moment, I've got Thiago Silva in there because I want that Brazil cover for not only this game coming, but the next fixture after that as well. Because I see them going all the way to the final, so it'd be good to build up some of them players now. And even if they don't, even if miraculously they get knocked out, I think Thiago Silva is. Let's get his scores up. Yeah, he's solid 60s. And he's capable of a clearance off the line, as we know from the Premier League. He's capable of popping up from corners and free kicks and scoring a goal as well. So he is a goal threat. It's not like he's never scored before. So I've got him in there at 15 points. What I would have really liked is to have paired him with the goalkeeper, which I'll come to in a minute, but I'm missing that point. So I could go down from Bruno to maybe Enzo, go up from my goalkeeper currently to an Alisson and pair them together. Because if we look at I think what a lot of people are going to do, as I've said, is focus on maybe France and Argentina, which I'm kind of doing. But this bottom half of the draw for me looks a little bit better for the Portugal run. And even for France ain't going to be bothered by England, I don't think. Now, England are a lot stronger than they used to be. But if we look up here, when you've got Argentina, Spain, Brazil, and the Netherlands, when you just say those names, it just, it does put me off a little bit. But I know that we've got to focus on the round of 16 because we'll be redrafting again after this round. Now, let's go back to this list. I've already got VVD, as I've spoken about. Otamendi, absolutely. If I could have that extra point, maybe I would go for that Argentina stack as well. He's been in really good form and capable of high scores, and again, a real threat from set pieces. John Stones, not for me. Upamecano, yeah, maybe. Now this is the one that's throwing me a little bit, because the next round is against Poland, but I feel because he's had these back-to-back hundreds and he's been rested, a lot of people are going to have him. And it's not like I'm in the top 200 where I need to be a little bit safe, a little bit cautious or whatever. You kind of need that differential a little bit to really boost you up the ranks. And I feel as though a lot of people after back-to-backs are going to be getting Theo in. However, can I afford to not have him is the question, because against Poland, I can easily see him getting another 100. And that left-hand side for France has been on fire with Mbappe coming kind of inside, him overlapping, vice versa. They've been really, really strong around there, and Rabiot playing on that left-hand side as well. So it is one of those where, do you join the band, or do you separate and do something else? He's definitely in my thinking, so it'd be between him, Thiago, depending where I can get that extra point from. See, if I get Theo in, then I have to drop Bruno and go down, which might not be a bad thing. However, it is what it is at the moment. Who else in there? Daley Blind, nope. Trippier, good fixture again. He's going to be involved, but is he going to play? Walker's back now. Does he shift to the left-hand side? Probably not with Shaw there. So there's question marks there, and you need people to start. Cancelo, a good run again, coming back to that Portugal thing, but he hasn't been great. And you could maybe stack him and find that extra point somewhere, but with the Portugal goalkeeper. But yeah, he's just not impressed me, to be honest. But he is capable of high scores. Again, maybe that is a differential now. Maybe people are going to be drafting Hernandez and then dropping Cancelo, and then Cancelo comes in and tidies up. Who knows? Marquinhos or Thiago Silva. Only reason why Thiago Silva, just because of that threat that he possesses from set pieces for the Brazil back line. Romero not been scoring high enough. He looks okay, and again, great fixture against Australia, but I don't see him popping up with a goal. Maguire, that's the other one that I'm thinking about, right? Now, his scores hasn't been fantastic. The 81 or the 82, yeah, great. 62, yeah, all right. 58 and same, kind of middle of the road, decent enough to get you higher up on the leaderboard. But Harry Maguire has a goal in him at this tournament, I believe, before we get knocked out. Definitely has a goal in him. Could see him scoring against Senegal and popping up with a really good score as well. So he is in my thoughts. And I haven't had anybody in the starting lineup from England. And obviously I am supporting England, so hopefully we do well. Sure, again, I don't think there's doubt. I think it's like 90% that he plays. But if Walker plays, does he shift Trippier to get somebody decent on set pieces? Maybe not. But I wouldn't be touching him. Varane, no, I think that he doesn't start the next game. Rudiger, well, I'm not touching Germany anymore. I've already got Neuer in there. Interesting one is Guerreiro. So going back to that Portugal back line where Cancelo hasn't impressed, with Nuno Mendes coming out now, but Guerreiro coming in, that could be really, really good for Portugal. We know that Guerreiro is a threat going forward. And again, when he's whipping in crosses to the likes of Ronaldo or cutting it back to the finishing expertise of Bruno, then he's good. And then obviously we've got Jordi Alba, who's at 100 this tournament already as well. But I don't know. Spain is an interesting one because you can get Jordi Alba and their goalkeeper for quite cheap. Who would they be playing again? It could be Croatia. Croatia, maybe Belgium, something. Yeah, I'm not sure on Spain at the moment. And they face Brazil in the next round if all goes to plan. Apart from that, I wouldn't touch any of these guys. Hakimi, interesting one, but a tough fixture if Germany win. Yeah, I wouldn't touch any of these. Acuna, he could smash against Australia because they're going to be pushing forward. He looked a little bit tired at the end of last game. Does Tagliafico come in? Does Acuna even play 90 minutes if he starts? I want somebody who's going to be playing 90 minutes. And apart from that, yeah, nobody else interests me. So at the moment, I've gone with Thiago Silva. Now, jumping over to the goalkeepers, and if you've lasted this long into the video, then hit that subscribe button and hit that like button. I'd appreciate that. Checking out the goalkeepers, there's only, There's only 3 that I'm considering, I think. Norpert, I think a lot of people is going to get in now just because he's cheap and he's starting for Netherlands, and if they beat USA, it's probably going to be pairing with somebody like a VVD. Again, that might be a little bit of an obvious one. Probably even more obvious than that is this guy, Martinez, coming in for Argentina. Again, going back to that fixture against Australia, I do see a clean sheet there. I don't see Australia scoring. I think they're going to be camped in the Australia half. So if they are going to be camped, I mean, am I talking myself out there? Do I want somebody with a little bit more of an AA? I think that they probably only get maybe one shot on target. What I'd really like is Alisson in there. Because if we go down there and we look at that Uruguay game, yes, they could get a couple of shots on target. Even if it's not Uruguay and it's Ghana, they could get a couple of shots on target on the counter. I don't see Australia breaking or having that pacing behind to get some shots on target against Martinez. Now, what's he saying? Your squad value is over budget by 2. Okay, so that means there might have been a price increase with somebody then. That's interesting. And if you didn't know, yeah, try and draft some of the people that you're thinking about as soon as possible, because they are going up and down in price. Now, I don't know where that's come from, because they all look the same price to me. But yeah, get it in on a daily basis. They're going up and down. So going back here, I would really like Alisson, Martinez, see a clean sheet there, and that's all you can hope for from a goalkeeper at a minimum. Hugo Lloris, I'm a Spurs fan. He gets on my nerves a little bit now. It's pretty much the only reason why I'm not going for him. However, I could go for him and Theo and then maybe Enzo and get them points back to get that clean sheet against Poland if they do so. Other than that, it's Diego Costa. Going back to that Portugal game and that Portugal bracket where I think it's a little bit easier for Portugal. Maybe he comes in. But all of these goalkeepers are quite well owned anyway. The only goalkeepers that I think maybe a touch of a differential could be the Spain goalkeeper, Simon, and Jordan Pickford against Senegal. Now, you could get Pickford in for a game and then draft somebody else in who's got an easier fixture depending on what goes on down here. I mean, if we look at this, you could then get Diego Costa in if Morocco beat Germany, or maybe a Martinez against the Netherlands. But as we get further into the competition, you can't really predict these clean sheets. I mean, I think 90% of people would say that Argentina are not going to concede against Australia. But, you know, could Argentina concede against the Netherlands? Probably 50% of people would say yes, if not more. And as we get further in, we get better competitions. Obviously, you can't predict the clean sheets. I mean, England could go ahead and score 2 or 3 against France. Absolutely, with the likes of Harry Kane, Bellingham, Rashford on the form that he's at. And even Morocco, they've got some great players. Hakimi going forward. You've got Ziyech. You've got some really good players there that could cause some damage. And even if Morocco don't win and Germany do, Germany can always score goals as well. So yeah, we get to redraft, which is a really good thing. But at the moment, as I said, I've gone for Martinez in there, which means that my team, let me just come out of this so that I don't have to redraft or whatever. How do I get out? There we go. Which means my team for match day 4 is looking currently, once this speeds up like this, Martinez in goal against Australia, Thiago Silva over VVD because I'm unsure about that USA game, Bruno coming in with a good fixture against Switzerland if things go to plan, and then as I said earlier, the 2 forwards that I've got is Messi and Griezmann. So on the bench there's going to be people like Trent Alexander-Arnold, which I won, Ruben Neves, which I won, VVD, which I've already spoken about, Di Maria, who I wanted to get out, even though they're playing Australia. No, maybe I don't know. Even if they're playing Australia, yeah, I think I've got to trust my thinking there is that he gets subbed up for 60 minutes and somebody else comes on, which, I want 90-minute men. And I think all 5 of these are 90-minute men. So that's what I've gone with so far. If you like the video, hit that like button. If you want to see some more, hit subscribe button. Let me know who you're drafting in. And just before we go, I'll show you how I'm getting on for match day 3 at the moment. I've still got Neuer to play, and I'm expecting a clean sheet against Costa Rica. It's not too bad. I mean, if you're in the top 20,000, yeah, you're doing better than most people, obviously, with 541,000 in there. Really disappointing with that goal being disallowed for Griezmann. yeah, really disappointed with that, because that would have boosted me up. I was on for a decent-ish score there. But if Neuer can get that clean sheet, get further up in there, get further up overall, then we should be in a good spot going into the next match day. But yeah, let me know down below, guys, who you're drafting in. Let me know if you agree with me, don't agree with me. But there's some of the players that I'm looking at. That's my draft for now. And as always, good luck in the next match day. And as always as well, I will see you in the future.